Welcome everybody to this Salt and Light Christian Church service on this Sunday morning. The story that I will be telling you all this morning is about the hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul." This hymn was written in 1873 by a man named Horatio Spafford. Horatio lived in Chicago as a successful lawyer who had a lot of investments in real estate. However, after the Chicago fire that decimated the city, he had lost the vast majority of his fortune. And around that same time, he also lost his only son, who was 4 years old, to scarlet fever. Due to these trials, this hardship, he flung himself into his work for the next couple of years, and he began working on rebuilding the city and helping the over 100,000 people that were left destitute and homeless by the fire. In 1873, just a couple years after the Chicago fire, he had decided to take his wife and 4 daughters on a vacation to Europe. He was good friends with D.L. Moody, the evangelist, and he had planned to go to England to visit with D.L. Moody and then vacation around Europe. However, an urgent situation came up, keeping him in New York, and he ended up sending his wife and daughters ahead of him on a luxurious French cruise vessel. However, this French cruise ship never made it to its destination. Partially through the voyage, it collided with an iron shipping vessel and sprung a leak, and the ship tilted up and began sinking, and many people lost their lives in this accident. Of the nearly 300 passengers, less than 50 survived. Amongst the survivors was Mrs. Spafford, Horatio's wife. However, all 4 of his daughters passed away in the accident. His wife, with the other survivors, was taken to Wales, where she sent word to New York to her husband, letting him know of the situation. And he immediately, upon receiving this message, booked passage for himself to meet up with his wife. And on his voyage, the captain told him, as they were passing over the part of the sea that French cruise vessel had crashed in. And as Horatio heard this news, he told the captain, "It is well that the will of God be done." And being distressed, he went to his cabin to try to get some rest. But as sleep evaded him, the lyrics to the hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul," came to his head, and he was inspired to write this hymn. This hymn was birthed out of tragedy. Even the composer of the music, after composing it shortly after, passed away, him and his wife, in a train wreck.
Wow.
However, we see from the lyrics in this hymn and from Horatio's life that God works wonders out of tragedy. And it is well that the will of God be done. So thank you. Let's pray to Jesus.